think we're live now. Okay, I think we are live.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so those in the audience, if you can hear my voice, and if you're following up, just put a comment in the chat with your name and where you're joining us from, just so that we're sure that you can hear us clearly. And I think I can see a few people that are currently viewing the session already. So I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're joining us from and what hour it is where you are. You're welcome to today's session, which is probably going to be our last session for 2025. And today's session is, last session for 2024, as we are preparing for 2025. I'm already running ahead. So I've been preparing my mind to start talking about 2025. So sorry about that. Good. So, like I said before, today is going to be our last session, and today what we're mostly focusing on is about the new year. So, in a couple of days, we'll be moving into the new year. A lot of people are going to have their new year resolutions, their new year plans, etc. And today's session is mostly about how to prepare for the 2025 application cycle. So, those of you that are currently applying, or people that are already planning to apply or make different kinds of applications in the new year. This session is to put things into perspective, answer any questions that you may have as you are making your plans, so that you can hit the ground running when we get into January. For today's session, I'm joined in the studio with 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 and 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. I'll allow them to introduce themselves, but let me introduce myself for those of us who do not know me. My name is Buchi. I was a Commonwealth Scholar at the University of Leeds in 2022. I did a Master's in Transport Planning and Engineering, and I usually host these sessions of Let's Talk Scholarships, which are alongside 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 and a few other speakers. So that's my brief introduction. There's nothing much to say. My network is not very strong because I'm currently on holiday. So pardon me if it begins to glitch at any point. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, I'll allow you to introduce yourself and then over to 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 as well.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. My name is 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. I'm also a Commonwealth Scholar, Master's and PhD, and I'm doing my PhD at University of Leeds, and I'm happy to be here. And I just want to say to everyone that we, the speakers here, myself, 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, are in 3 different time zones, we're in 3 different countries, but I want to give the kudos to 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. Oh my gosh, she will tell you what time it is, where she is. Oh, I am thrilled. So over to you, 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞.
Hi everyone, happy Christmas and New Year in advance. My name is 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. I'm a Commonwealth Scholar and a Monash Scholar, currently following my PhD and as a University of Malaysia. It's 2 a.m. here. Yeah, so I try to sleep earlier so that I wake up, and then after this, I'll continue my studies till morning. So it's also a good way of beginning a week for good. Yeah, so thank you all for joining me. Thank you very much.
I don't know whether it's my network on my end, but I was struggling a little bit to hear 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 when she was speaking.
Yeah, I was also.
𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, can you hear clearly?
I'm also struggling to hear 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, maybe you can work on your audio. I think it's not bad. I actually thought it was just me, but since Bichi also complained, so it's from your end then.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, it might
I
be
don't
the
want to
microphone or
shout
something.
because so maybe I will need to get the microphone then. But can you hear me at all? If you can't hear me at all, then it's from my side.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's still a little bit faint. So if you can get the microphone, maybe that might help.
And ask them, please, if you can hear 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, can you type on the chat yes or no? That will really help us. Yeah, again,
Hello?
okay, yeah.
Okay, is it better now? Is it better now?
Audience,
Okay,
can
yeah.
you
So
please
if you're listening
down the
and
end?
Okay, let
Okay,
me
they can
try
hear you.
ending
Amazing.
Okay, okay.
Oh, so
All
which is
right,
for me
all
and
right.
you, they can hear. They can hear you in the car. I think it's me and you that have the
okay,
issue.
okay.
Okay, that's fine. They can hear you. We're okay with that.
All right. I won't
Oh,
want to shout
oh,
because it's PM here and classes.
okay. Yeah, okay. I think Binka, if you finish introducing yourself, okay. But we have mixed house. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Richie, over to you. Please continue. Make me sort out some things on display here.
Oh, okay, okay. So I think people said they can hear, but audio might be a little low. Well, anything that you can do to improve the audio, we'll see what we can do. But
Yes,
I think we'll go
I'm
along
logging
now.
with my laptop.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. That's no problem there. Once you sort anything out, just let me know. Good. So,
Thank
like
you.
I said at the beginning of today's session, we're preparing for the 2025 application cycle, and this session is an Ask Us Anything session. It's mostly going to be about answering your questions. There's not so much to talk about from our own end. So, I would appreciate if people have questions to start putting them in the comment sections as soon as they can. Because we're in the holiday period, today's session is going to be
Okay, I think Biki's frozen. Right? Did guys Biki frozen or is it from my end?
Yeah, he's frozen. Is it
Okay, then
because
let
I
me.
came in with my laptop?
Yeah, that's fine. I can hear you clearly. That's good. So, I like Biki said, today is ask me anything questions. So, if you have any questions or maybe what you think that you can do better in 2025 application cycle, what you maybe you felt you had some issues with your 2024 application or whatever, is it admission, is it scholarship, is it getting a supervisor, is it funding, whatever it is, you can ask questions. And also, apart from that, we're going to be sharing resources on how to get and what's it called scholarship for English exams. So those of you that want to write English exams and you don't have funding, we can share some scholarship opportunities about that. And also, Ginika will also be sharing about scholarships. I think is ongoing in our institution right now. So I think she will let you know about that later. And also, we're talking about how to make yourself be more competitive for 2025 application cycle. How to prepare yourself, how to get maybe volunteering opportunities, how to get leadership experience, how to contact supervisor, how to get a reference letter. So whatever it is you have, you want to ask us or whatever you think can make you, because this next year coming, we want to ensure that at least you stand a better chance if you haven't in the past. So take this opportunity to reflect and ask questions. Please know this, no question is stupid. Every question is a question. If you are unsure of how to ask it, just type it there, and we can make sense out of it. Don't be shy. Just ask the questions now, so that by next year you can be in a better position to send in applications and possibly, by God's grace, get sponsorship. So please ask your questions. We are all in different time zones, and it's quite late where Ginika is. Like it's 2 a.m. So she's up by 2 a.m. being here with us this evening. So please, let's maximize every opportunity you have to ask questions. Yeah, okay, we can see questions coming in now. So I'll just, oh, we already have a few. That's amazing. Okay, so I'll just please keep your questions coming in. Yeah, Buchis, yeah, thank you, Buchis. So we have a lot of questions coming in. Thank you, Beatrice, you can see your questions. Okay, forgive me, I think Mashallah, you can see your questions. We display them soon. Benedicta, you can see your questions. So please drop it. Okay, if 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞, you can see your questions. That's amazing. So do drop your questions. We will share opportunities. But before we go to the questions on the chat, which are amazing, just keep them coming in. I want to reflect with Buchi and let's discuss from January 2020 2024 to December, we'll be mentoring students. via webinar, via group chat, via one-on-one mentorship. What do you think has been the greatest challenge for students with or applicants that you think has been maybe why maybe they didn't get it or what have slowed them down? What do you think has been one or two of the major challenges that happened to applicants for the past 1 year that they can actually work on and up their game? From your own as a mentor, what do you think it is?
There's quite well. There's a few things.
Yeah,
There's a
we
few
just want
things from
to.
my end. Let me apologize for the network issues.
That's
I
fine.
had to switch to a different network now. I hope this one will be stable enough. So firstly, I'm going to say research is one.
What do
Research
you mean by
is
research?
yeah. So good. So let me explain. So the amount of time and effort that it takes to run through an application is sometimes underestimated by applicants.
Hmm, that's
So,
true.
so yeah, so sometimes people don't understand the amount of work that you need to put in to actually provide a competitive application that might get you an award. So sometimes when you get into the explanation of the details of what they need to do to be able to complete an application, it gets overwhelming for some people. And then they begin to feel unprepared or begin to feel overwhelmed. But I think it's safe to say that nobody that I know, anyway, no one that I know, was able to get that full picture at the start.
Yeah.
It's usually as you go along, you learn, and then you get better as you apply. And the more as I think, if you don't start, you won't see the picture. And the more you see the picture, the more you build upon what you know. The same way some people get applications, and their first trial, some people have to do it 2 or 3 times before they are successful. There's no template for it, but you need to understand that it is a competitive world out there. The same way you apply for jobs, or the same way you apply for any other thing that's competitive, is the same way that you apply for these opportunities, and you have to be willing and ready to give it some of your personal time, and you have to also be ready to show there a little bit of inconvenience to get the job done. So I think that's one major thing that I would say from an applicant's perspective is something that you have control over 100%. Is a mindset thing. Once you put your
Hmm.
mind to it and you understand that this is what I need to do, I need to actually dig deep and put in some work, then you begin to ask the right questions and move in the right direction. And some of the things that you never thought about begin to fall into your lap. Some
Yeah,
people
like
get, it's not the opportunity that they were chasing that they eventually got, but off the back of the one that they were chasing, they got into another one or another one, and then that one eventually worked out. And then some people down the line feel like the one they eventually fell into was better suited to their needs, because sometimes these applications are streamlined to specific kinds of profiles. So the opportunity that you might eventually get might be the one that actually suits your profile best. So that's one thing. The second thing may also be the requirements.
hmm,
When I talk about requirements, basic requirements. So people they don't have the basic documents that they need, and
document.
that can sometimes be a hindering factor. Maybe you don't have an international passport and you're trying to apply for an international opportunity. I'm not saying that you must have an international passport, but once you begin to start thinking of applying for international opportunities, you should begin to start thinking about getting an international passport, because
Hmm.
some of the applications will require. Okay, very good. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can just go on. Yeah, we can. Yeah,
Yeah, you can guess what happened.
yeah. We know what happened. No worry. But yeah, are you done?
No. So I was talking about the documents. So basic documents you can get. The international passport, very important one. Start being in the process of getting it, because sometimes you might even get an opportunity, and to confirm that opportunity, you need to do some documentation. So international passport, important. If you're applying for postgraduate opportunities, your transcript, your undergraduate certificate, also very important documents to have, because you either need both or one of these at least to make an application to prove that you have the degree that you say you have. An academic CV is a nice to have thing, so that you can document your own experiences and your own details in a document, and then you can, even if you don't submit the CV, you can pull things from there to fill in some applications. One of the few ones that people struggle with a lot is language requirements, depending on the country you're applying to. Some of them have, especially if it's an English speaking country, we know about the IELTS, English tests and the rest of them. And sometimes the requirements change year on year for different countries as well. So, okay, visual is back. So, sometimes especially like in the UK, a school can list out different kinds of requirements that can go for language proficiency. Some of them will accept an A-level or O-level exam. Some might accept a letter from your undergraduate university or from your workplace saying that you converse well in English or you have a good level of proficiency. But some of them will require you to write some standardized tests. And if you're looking at the US, for example, you might also need to write something like the GRE, or you might need to do an evaluation on your undergraduate degree, etc. So many of these things can sometimes be a hindering factor. You sometimes see applicants asking for schools that don't require English language requirement and the rest of them. But usually there's no school that comes out to advertise that they don't require this English language requirement. That information, if we go back to my first point on research, that information is usually buried somewhere within the university applications. So some schools have different requirements for different candidates of different profiles. Someone who has worked in a certain institution for a complete number of years might not be required to have the same language proficiency qualification as somebody else who's just graduating from school or who has lived in a particular country or not lived in a particular country, and things like that. For standardized tests, sometimes there are some funding opportunities to write standardized tests. Unfortunately, some of these opportunities are not very common. I might know one or two, but most of them are usually some kind of training program where they put you through a program and then you try to qualify for whether or not you're going to apply for a scholarship, and then maybe that program or foundation under which you've taken that training under will now sponsor some of those generalized standardized tests. Yeah, so I think those are the basic things, if you ask me, from my own perspective, that maybe candidates find challenging and maybe people should start planning towards moving into the new year.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love what you said, because I can relate. Most times people don't put enough time to plan for the application, and you're very correct. And it's a good thing we're doing this now. And again, they don't know the required document, like you said. That's really great. Because we want to finish very quick today. We'll speak to our audience. Please drop your questions. You can see questions on the chat. We're going to address them, but we want to leave here in the next 1 hour. So if your questions don't come in before then, we are sorry we won't be able to take it. And just to say this before, we allow Gina to just tell us maybe just briefly what she thinks has been the major challenge for applicants just this year, just one, before we move on. I want to say to our audience on LinkedIn, please try to click on the live video, and drop your comment. That's the only way we can see your questions or see your contribution. If you just type your comment on the post, we can't see. But if you tap on the video, then tap on the comment section, we can actually see your post here on the back end. So again, can you just tell us what's just one thing you think candidate did not do or can do better that's been a challenge or limitation to their scholarship or admission experience?
Okay. One major challenge candidates have is time. I remember applying, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job, or if you have a demanding family, care responsibilities and all of that. So putting in 100% in making sure that you put up a quality application can also be very daunting. So, but if one could try and maybe make out 1 month and try and make yourself available, make time available for applications, because you need a lot of thinking, you need a lot of planning, you need a lot of editing, writing. So these things you are not able to do them if you don't have the time to put in the work. So I think during this holiday, I tried to reach out to so many of my mentees and try to explain to them that the holiday season is fantastic, is very good, but you have your time now to actually do the research, do the search, do the due diligence before work starts in January. So that time is very important, and people could use this holiday season to work on their plans for 2020-25. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to take the lead for the next section?
Yeah, so I think, as 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 put it so lightly on the mentorship group, we have a small Christmas gift for the viewers today. So 𝐃𝐚𝐿 will allow you to talk about the Global Excellence and Mobility Scholarships from Monash. Yeah, so let me allow you to continue with the mic before we move over to answering the questions in the chat. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, I think she's frozen now.
Okay.
Am I audible now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, now we can hear you.
Can you
Okay,
hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Hi, 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞.
I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, do you mind joining in and out? Just maybe log out and log in while we just continue. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that might help. Okay. So, but should we maybe take the first question while 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 try to sort herself out? Is that okay?
Yeah, let's take the first question while
Okay.
While we get her back. Let's see. Whose question came in first? Okay, so we have a question from Beatrice. Please, when should we start applying to the UK universities for admission for the Commonwealth Scholarship with the FSB? Okay, I'm assuming this is the Commonwealth Scholarship application that took place in October.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was, yeah.
Okay, so the short answer to this question should be yesterday. Yesterday, you should have started applying to the UK universities for admission yesterday. If you haven't started, the next best time to start applying is today. And the reason is because sometimes admission is on a first come first served basis, especially for courses that are in high demand. So universities might have a number of a quota of students that they want to admit on that course, and you don't want to be in the situation where you get the scholarship but you don't have the admission to take it up. So usually the advice is either while you're applying for the Commonwealth Scholarship or immediately after you finish the Commonwealth Scholarship, start making your application to the UK university, except where the UK university has not started accepting admission applications. But assuming they have started accepting admission applications, you should start your application. So in the case that you applied for the Commonwealth Scholarship or the Chieftain Scholarship or the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship or any of the scholarships to the UK universities, start applying for admission, because the UK university admission process starts, once it starts, they start giving admission on a rolling basis until they get the number of students that they want. So the short answer, like I said, is yesterday was the best time. The next best time is today. I won't say that tomorrow is a good time, because I will always say, don't leave to tomorrow what you can do today. So the admission still might be on Christmas break now, but the admission portal should still be up and running. So you can first create your profile, go and check what the requirements are, start putting your documents together, like I said initially, and so that maybe by January you can submit an application and get your admission approved. And if there's any pending conditions, you can start sorting that out as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. I'm really happy. It's the best time to apply for admission is yesterday or start today. But I'm just kind of curious if, Beatrice, please correct me if I'm wrong. If you're referring to the FSB that just closed, then for you to go for FSB interview, you needed an admission. So how did you do it? Because if it's for this FSB, you cannot qualify without an admission. I don't know that. But if you're referring to the future one, then please start applying now. But regardless of whatever your status is, the best time to apply is yesterday or now. So please go and start getting information as Puchi I just stated. So I hope we were able to answer your question. Just to say to our audience on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I don't know if Instagram is live because I don't know what happened, but if it's live, that's also amazing. Please, audience, drop your questions. We are here to help you answer what we can. Like I said, no question is stupid, no question is small, no question is embarrassing. Just ask and we'll try to help what we can. The essence is to put you in a well-placed position for next application cycle, and the best time to prepare or start doing things is right now. Okay, so the next question is from March.
Sorry, just before we move to the next question.
Okay.
On the previous question as well, I think it's also important to clarify what FSB means for our non-Nigerian audience.
Yes.
Yeah, so for those of us who are not from Nigeria, FSB stands for the Federal Scholarship Board, which is an arm of the Ministry of Education, which is one of the nominating agencies for the Commonwealth Scholarship in Nigeria. So if you're not in Nigeria and you're in your own country, you would have your national body that is a nominating agency with either your Ministry of Education, your Directorate of Education, whatever body is domiciled under, that's in charge of education in the country, they would have that. And those people usually have their own requirements, to nominate you. So in Nigeria, the FSB's one of the FSB's requirements is that you have admission when you're coming for their interview. So I think this is also a good time to say that if you get admission from a UK university and you're not ready to take up the admission in that year, you can request for the admission to be deferred to the next session. Because in cases like FSB, let me use an example now. For the FSB, the Commonwealth opened their admission process in October. FSB did their interview shortly after, I think around November. And you have to come with admission letter in that November for 2025 September session. Most of the people that will have that admission letter are people that have either reached out to the university in the early part of the year to let them know that they want to apply for a Commonwealth scholarship late in the year. So if you want to apply for a Commonwealth scholarship in 2025, for example, October, November 2025, and you're planning to go to the FSB in October, November 2025, you need to have an admission. So if you contact the school by April 2024, they may not be giving admission for 2026 session as of then. But you can maintain communication with the university to let them know that you'll be applying for a Commonwealth scholarship in the end of 2025. And one of the requirements for the nominated agency in your home country is to have an admission letter. And then the university can make a provision for you to get either a document or an admission letter, or if you already have an offer that you're supposed to use in 2025 and you don't have the scholarship or fund to take it up, you can ask the university to defer that offer to 2026 and make use of that admission to scale through the FSB interview. So these are some of the things that you begin to put in the works on time, so that not when the scholarship is announced late in November, you're scrambling to find an admission letter that you take to the interview, which is in a very short window. So I just wanted to also put that out there.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what we'll do is we'll just answer some questions maybe for the next 15 minutes. Then we'll now go back to the Global Excellence Scholarship. Is that okay? Okay, I really cannot hear you. Can you hear her?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you. Because we have some questions coming, so we believe if you answer some, by the time you're speaking, more will come in. Okay, we have a question. This question is so interesting. From Omuma. I have a question regarding scholarship. Why is it so difficult for most Nigerians to meet their requirements? Okay, who wants to start? Because I have a lot to say, but I want to be the last. Who wants to say something? Why is it so difficult? First of all, I have an issue with the question. So, but yeah, but it's
Yeah,
good
so
to
I
answer
think
questions. It's
I
fine.
think I also have an issue with the question because where is your data set that is difficult for most Nigerians to meet their requirements? I I I would say that it's not true that it's difficult for most Nigerians to meet their requirements, and that in essence means that I don't have an answer to the question because I don't agree that it's difficult for most Nigerians to meet their requirements. If requirements are stated and you get what is required, most of the time you would get whatever you're going for. So unless there's a particular type of requirement you're talking about, then maybe that may be a special case. But when you talk about requirements are basic things like documents and stuff I talked about before. So I don't really know what kind of requirements you mean, but most of the Nigerians that I know were able to meet their requirements. So I don't know if anybody has anybody anything contrary to say. Guinea, I don't know if you
Yeah,
how you feel.
I like the guy to speak first. Yeah.
Coming from Nigeria alone is a bonus for you from an English speaking country. Yes, especially if you're looking for scholarships in Europe and Asia. It's actually a plus for you. Coming to Malaysia, I realized that so many Chinese are here, people that can't even speak properly, and they're so excited to have opportunity to even learn in an English speaking university because they want to use that as an opportunity to also improve in their English language. So already having the background and being able to put in your thoughts and your research work without having to use Google Translate, it's you're already selling yourself. And Nigerians are so good in getting the grades because our education system is very rigorous, and it's more of comprehension and garbage in, garbage out. So we have people, so many first class are from Nigeria, one. So it's quite easier for Nigerians to get scholarships abroad.
Adrian, I think we're back to you now.
I was trying
You're
to,
muted. Okay.
yeah. So thank you so much. First of all, like let me make this clear. I said at the beginning, no question is stupid or embarrassing. So first of all, I want to say to Omowa, thank you so much for asking this question because a lot of people can have this mindset, and it's fine that you brought it up here today, and we kind of address it. So first of all, it might be where you are applying to. Okay, you might be applying to something that is way above the requirement of what you have. So that you have to look at it, what you have, what makes you competitive. Also, it can be that you can have these things, but you don't know how to get them. So you think you cannot meet the requirement. For example, some schools might tell you we want English exam. But if you write to the school and make your case, they can exempt you. But that you will not know if you don't ask. So I think it's not that why is that you don't meet the requirement. It's either is what you apply to, or maybe you don't just understand that there are other ways to maneuver these situations. So I'll say to you, thank you for asking this question. But I believe one thing I can tell you is watch scholarship webinars at follow group chats. Then you can know how to up your game, how to acquire skills that make you more competitive, how to acquire more maybe certifications or professional certifications that make you more, or volunteering experiences that make you more competitive. Because so the truth is that nobody is competitive like that. We all grew to where we are today. We learned skills, we went to volunteer, we got exposed, we got lectures. So you can get there. So I want to believe that in a short time, very soon, this mindset of yours will be changed by getting more resources. So thank you so much. I don't know, someone is echoing. Is it me or who? I don't know who's echoing. Am I echoing? Because I can hear
I,
echo.
it's probably you, I guess.
Or can you hear the echo?
I was hearing it when you were speaking.
Great. Okay. But is it okay now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay, the next question is from Benedict and Buchi. Yeah.
Is the scholarship for undergraduate students too? Okay. Well, this is an incomplete question if you ask me. But if you're asking about whether what we are discussing about on this platform is for undergraduate students too, are you asking whether there are scholarships for people to do undergraduate studies? Or are you asking whether someone who is still an undergraduate can start applying for scholarships for postgraduate studies? So I don't know which one you're asking, but I know that most of our programs have talked about postgraduate scholarships because those are the ones that usually have funding opportunities, mostly funding opportunities. There are some undergraduate courses and undergraduate opportunities that also have funding, but different countries have very different specific requirements for those kind of things. So it's not really a generalized discussion from my own personal research anyway. It's not really a generalized discussion. Even the process of admission for undergraduate courses is usually less straightforward than the postgraduate admissions. So if you're asking about scholarship to study an undergraduate course internationally, that's a very big basket that needs to be unlocked separately. But if you're asking whether, as a current undergraduate student, whether you need to start thinking about opportunities for further studies after your study, maybe you're in final year or in your penultimate year, I would say if you are at that position and you're started thinking about a postgraduate opportunity, then you're at a very advantageous point because you're going to get most of the information that you need at a very early stage and start putting things together so that once you graduate, you can be able to harness most of the opportunities.
Thank you.
Adriel.
Yeah, thank you, Bichi. I'll ask you that. So I went through the chat and I can see that we also have some undergraduates here. There's somebody also in SS3. I'll get to that. Well, the thing is, we've been focusing on postgraduate. We've done a few scholarship webinars on undergraduate, but it was in Japan. And Ginika also pursues undergraduate scholarship. But because this is not the first time I'll be hearing undergraduates, even on the group chat, people send me DMs. What about undergraduate? So I think maybe because there are scholarship for undergraduate, there are a lot, but we have not been focusing on that. So, but let's see. That's why I said ask us anything. That's part of this webinar. So maybe it's something we might want to consider next year. We don't know yet, but we might look at it because it's becoming up a lot now recently. And yeah, and I think if they can get scholarship as undergraduates, it's prepared them much better for postgraduate because then they're already prepared. They already know what's expected. So, but still, it's a good thing you're here because I can see there's someone else on YouTube also asking for undergraduate. So yeah, some of these application tips can also be useful for you. But yes, there are other. You can also go to YouTube. There are people that focus on undergraduate, but we are hoping we can start doing something like that next year. Yeah. So yeah, but like Bichi said, if you're also in undergraduate and you want to start thinking about postgraduate, there's nothing bad learning about the documents right now, which is your transcript, your results, reference letter, etc. So yeah, so that's great. Thank you. The next question. Okay, I really don't know what I'm echoing. Okay. The next question is from 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. Please, good evening. Please, I need advice on writing my statement for the SI Swedish scholarship. Okay, I don't know much about that scholarship, but Richie, anyone want to say anything on maybe personal statement or something?
Okay, this is a very specific one, so it's not something that can be answered generally. I remember applying for the SI Swedish scholarship at some
amazing.
point. Yeah, a few years ago, and I think there's about 3 or 4, about 3 questions you need to answer, I think, and then upload your grades and a few other things. So I can't give very specific advice now because to be very honest, I can't remember the questions off the top of my head. But maybe for the person asking the question, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and we can talk about that.
Yeah, so I just went to YouTube and I can see there are a lot of questions on YouTube videos on the scholarship. You can also look at those webinars. There are a lot of resources. Yeah, maybe it's something we might do next year, but in terms of writing my statement for SYC, I don't know what they're asking, but they're asking, let me not say what I don't know. So I think let's just stop there. Yeah, so I think the next question would be, Mickey, would you want to put your phone name on the chat so the person can send you a message on LinkedIn just in case they miss the name?
Okay.
So that's Mickey's name. Yeah, okay, that's great. So the next question would be from Chibuzo. I would like to know about scholarships that are still on. Okay, I think this one will bring Vinegar back. Yeah, so before we go back, there are some scholarship on, but and the one I know of is there's this African scholarship. I think it's in the Netherlands. I'll try to share the link again. I shared it the last time. It's ongoing. I think the deadline is January 8th or 15th. I can't remember, but it closes in January. And the other scholarship ongoing too. So Vinegar, would you want to talk about the Global Excellence Scholarship?
Yes. Let me quickly do that while I'm still online. Okay, so the link has been shared. It is a mobility scholarship between Monash University Malaysia and Monash University Australia. So one thing that's quite striking about the scholarship is that the topics, the research topics and the projects have been defined. So all you need to do is to go to the website and then check if your department is there or your topic of interest is there. And then you could develop a short research proposal and of course, key in the name of the supervisor in the application form. So it's open for only first class graduates. It's not open for second class graduates because it's going to be fully funded. There's going to be stipend, there's going to be research, travel grants, and all of that. So apart from the Global Excellent Mobility Scholarship, I also found out that the Graduate Research Scholarship is open till March for the first batch. That's for the September intake. So you can also go through that. For the Graduate Research Scholarship, is open for PhD and Masters. So if you have first class, you're going to get full funding, including stipend. If you have second class, you're going to get only full tuition fee waiver and other scholarship support. So that's the one I'm currently benefiting from. So it's open. So please go in and then shoot your shot.
Thank you. I'll actually put the link on the chat. So those of us on YouTube, you can actually click on the link. I will see if I can put that on Facebook too. So thank you so much. But you do want to add, is there any other scholarship that you know that are ongoing?
Not at the moment, no. I think those are the ones I know. I think the one Netherlands we talk about is the Orange.
The government of Ireland.
And I know this. Okay, yes. The government of Ireland scholarship that's currently on.
Yeah, so the government of Ireland, Excellence Mobility Scholarship in Australia, Monash, and African Scholarship in Netherlands. The others going to just go online and type ongoing scholarships, and I think you get enough information. But yeah. Okay, there's another question. I think you take the lead for this one.
Okay, another one from Beatrice. Also, is the 2025 Commonwealth application to be awarded to start a master's or PhD degree in 2026 in any school in the UK? If I understand correctly, the answer to the question is yes.
Yeah.
The Commonwealth application that will open in September, October, November 2025 will be to start studies in fall 2026, which is August, September, October 2026. That's usually where the scholarship works, is a 1-year cycle. So you apply this year, you start next year. So the one that was applied in this 2024, those people that whoever wins those awards will start school in September, October, August 2025, depending on which school you're going to.
All right, thank you.
question. How can a person know if a master scholarship is thought-based or research-based? Adrian, do you want to answer that one?
Let's give it to 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 first. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞?
It will be defined. It will be defined in the advert.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So if you just go to the school website, their programs, and they put the courses, they'll write thought or they'll write research-based. So you just go to the school, go to the department, go to the course. And by the time you are going through, you can tell if it's a thought or research-based. They always tell you about it. It's always defined, like 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 said.
Yeah. In the worst case, if you don't see, you can't find it, send an email to the school just to be sure. Send an email to ask. Maybe their website is undergoing maintenance or is not rectified or whatever, and you'll find it difficult to find that information. Send them an email. Ask them. They will answer you, and they'll give you the information that you need.
Oh, Elizabeth, thank you so much. You're the person that told us compliment of the season. You see? Thank you, Elizabeth. Compliment of the season to you too. Can you please make a webinar on research proposal, please? So we've made, I think, 1 or 2 webinars on research proposal, but I don't know if it's on the page yet. I'll try and look for it. But yes, you can make it for next year. That's part of the plan. I'm happy you mentioned it. Because like we said, ask us anything. We're here to ensure that we can serve you better in 2025. So yes, we're happy to do that. But I know we've done that in the past. I'll try to look for the link if there is anyone that can pop on the chat. But at the same time, we'll work towards that next year. Does anybody want to say something? Yeah.
No, I think that covers it.
Okay, Bichi, next question.
Next question. I put it on the screen.
No, you should. Okay, I can do that. That's fine. Oh, not this. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's complementing the last question. Okay,
yeah,
this one. Does Commonwealth Scholarship require a nominating body in Nigeria before he or she can qualify? Okay, so I think this is where I have to state that the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission offers a range of scholarships, scholarships and fellowships, and I think there's a new one that they just launched that is for entrepreneurs and startups. So I think that makes it about 7 programs that they're running now. Each program has a defined way that candidates are selected. So for a Nigerian applicant, the one that requires you to go through a nominating body in Nigeria is if you decide to apply for the Commonwealth Masters or the Commonwealth PhD scholarship and you choose the Federal Scholarship Board as your nominating agency. Now, you have the choice to choose your nominating agency. So you can either choose the national body in your country, or you can choose any nominating agency from the list of NGOs. Usually, when the scholarship is advertised, there's a list of nominating agencies, and this nominating agency has a specific profile of people that they are nominating. There are some of them that are for just female candidates. There are some of them that are for just maybe disabled candidates. There are some of them that are for specific courses. So it depends on what you qualify for. So when you choose what you qualify for, when you see what you qualify for, depending on the different nominating agencies, you can choose who you want to select as your nominating body. But there's usually room to choose more than one nominating body or to apply through more than one nominating body. So you can also think about that. So you don't have to restrict yourself solely to the national body of your home country. Few other programs you may not need the national body. So Commonwealth Shared, you're nominated through the university in the UK. For the new program that just came out, I think you're nominated through a series of other requirements. That's for the startups. This one is not purely academic. This one is not for startups. So it depends on which of the scholarships. But like I said, the masters and the PhD are the ones that usually have the national body as the nominating agency. I think that's all I can say on that question.
Do you have anything to add, or should we move on?
We also organize specific webinars for each of these scholarships, so you can also look out for it. There's also the Commonwealth Split site, which I'm also planning to apply for for those who have already started their
Oh, nice.
PhD
We'll see you
in
soon.
Commonwealth countries. Yes, so I'll start shooting for that one as well. So that one, the scholar will spend 1 year in the UK in the research topic with a university, and that is also collaborating with the researcher's home university. It has to be a Commonwealth country for the candidate. Yeah. So
Okay, just
there are other ones. Pardon?
no, please finish. Sorry, I thought you finished.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Just to add quickly, uh, imagine the person is in Nigeria asking this question. This for the common one general. I know of some other persons that use other nominating agencies, which were outside Nigeria, but they had an affiliate in Nigeria. So that's also possible to get nominated. So, but yeah, but like Nika said, we have done some webinars. So I think the more you follow these webinars, the more you learn about scholarship, the more you understand your opportunities and how vast of opportunities you can get. Okay, the next one is from Mouse Inspires. Please, I have a question. Why is it hard in getting a good undergraduate scholarship in the UK and also hard to meet their requirements? I don't want to look at this. Why does this keep coming up?
Okay. I think maybe this also fits back into what I said initially, that the process for undergraduate admission and funding is not the same for postgraduate. If you're applying for undergraduate admission, there's a series of things you need to go through. You also need to also be aware that university undergraduate courses in different countries start at different levels. So, like in the UK, you start at A level. You do your A levels before you go into the university, because university degrees are like 3 years. But in a country like Nigeria, for example, you have a minimum of 4 to 5 years, where in the first year you're usually doing what the UK people have done in their A levels as your year one, as your first year courses. So if you don't have that foundational A level to apply for admission into an undergraduate course in the UK, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to cross in with your O levels that we usually get out of secondary school with in Nigeria, for example. So depending on your country, it's the same way that some undergraduate degrees in some countries are not equivalent to undergraduate degrees in the UK or some other countries, and you have to do a little bit of for lack of a better word, updating of your existing degree to meet up with the basic standard that will give you admission. So some of those things are some of the barriers of entry. Let's put it that way. And then
Yeah.
funding as well is not as from my own personal experience, I would say that the greater the research potential, the more funding you would find. So PhDs, you will find a vast potential of funding for a PhD program because it takes a lot longer and the research output is very much unique. So people are willing to throw money at that because at the end of that research, you're going to come up with a very unique product. Then next on the line will be a master's, and then followed by that is an undergraduate. Because an undergraduate is somewhat basic education, the funding opportunities for undergraduate are usually most of the time not as vast as those for PhDs. And sometimes they are on need based. So, there's a difference between merit based, need based, and, other scholarships that have different themes, like the Commonwealth scholarships that are developmental based. So they are looking for development impact. Some scholarships are looking for people that are, unable to afford, or people in different situations, people that are disabled, people that have learning disabilities. Those are some, because of what an undergraduate degree might be seen as, a basic leveler. Sometimes the funding is directed towards this kind of category of people rather than, say things like research excellence and merit and the rest of them. That's not to say that the opportunities do not exist in every sector, but it's just something that you have to have at the back of your mind, that you may have to dig a little bit deeper in order to find the opportunity that you're looking for.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's a call, because I know that there are videos on scholarship on grad, but I'm not sure there are a lot of live webinars on how to apply, because on that is access information and people actually mentoring them. So I think it's something that I'm looking forward to doing next year. And I know 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 started doing it this year, but she stopped. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, what is happening? You're also mentoring undergraduate. What happened? And mostly females. What happened? This is a call for help, a cry for help. You should also do it. That'd be great. I'm serious. Your first one you did was amazing.
I'm very passionate about undergraduate scholarship, but I had to do a lot of research about it. In fact, I currently put up one on my WhatsApp status. One thing about undergraduate scholarship is that, just like Buchi said, it's not straightforward like master's scholarship. And some of them now are based on third-party recommendation. Yeah, some, especially the need-based, because a university can give a scholarship to an underage, or who monitors it. So they have to use a third party, either an NGO that is maybe looking out for kids in the IDPs, and then from there flow the funding to the students. So it's not very straightforward like the masters, because you are dealing with some of them are below 18 years, or they're still teenagers, like 18 years or 19 years. So it's very risky dealing with that age group.
Okay. We have a question from yeah. Okay, but will you take these few questions? Then that's okay. I can continue. Okay, I think I jumped. Hold on, let me go back. I think I jumped. So I think you already addressed this question. Before you can start playing now.
I think it's a repetition.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Let me contribute to this before I need to step out for a little while. Also, are there some hints and some requirements you think I should get before graduating? I'm currently in SS3. I will be writing my WAEC next year. Okay, so I think it's still back to the same basic point. Like I said, it's not a very straightforward process. There's a lot of things involved in getting a funded undergraduate study abroad. Sometimes it's a portal you have to apply to if you're an undergraduate trying to apply. I think there's something called the UCAS system. For European universities, there's another different application portal that you need to apply to if you're an international applicant. And also another thing to mention about undergraduate scholarship, sometimes they are, because you're on a course for maybe more than 1 year, your scholarship might also be based on GPA. So you need to maintain a certain GPA to maintain your funding opportunity and the rest of them. In this case now, what I would just say is, on the current exams that you're about to write, your WAEC, for those that are not still WAEC is the, senior secondary certificate examination you get when you finish secondary school. Focus on getting the best grades possible, because that might be a really big help for you. There might be some other exams you may need to write. So if you want to do an undergraduate in Canada, there are some exams that you may need to write. If you want to do an undergraduate in the US, there are some exams that you may need to write as well. So I won't be able to list all of that now, but you can begin to do your research on those things and begin to prepare against those exams. Like I said before, when you write, the WAEC we write in Nigeria is O-level, O-level. But most developed countries, you do an O-level and then you do an A-level before you go into the undergraduate course. And then that's why the undergraduate courses are for a shorter duration. Not to say that you can't use an O-level to go in. There are opportunities for that as well. But you just need to start thinking about, maybe there are some A-level exams that you need to take. I know that I think one of my friends took something like a Cambridge A-level exam, and then they used that to get into admission into a certain university. But it was I think it was a specific requirement for that particular course it was going on, or something like that. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, do you want to add something? Because I think that's the most I can say about that.
Yes, I shared a link now with 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞. I'm interested in that student who is in SS3. I'm currently mentoring some students to apply for the Yale Global Talent Program. It's a program that's organized by the University of Yale in the US, and they are going to be hosting 14 to 18-year-olds in Yale and in Kenya next year. So they're going to be carrying out sessions for them, training them on how to apply to top schools in the US. And of course, these certificates are also important in the applications and for those sourcing for scholarships. So to go for an undergraduate scholarship, you need a lot of preparation and you need your parents or guidance to guide you. You need to do some diploma programs because you need to be 18 years because they don't take 16 and 15 in the US and Europe as well. So you need this diploma program to have either your A level or you have your diploma. In that way, you now get admission by the time you're 18 years in the US. So if you're interested, you can apply for this program. All you need is your transcript and your recommendation from your principal. That's all you need to apply.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And I will say to you, whoever asks a question, you can look for 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 on LinkedIn. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 cover for and send her a DM and explain that, oh, you like to join her mentorship if it's still open. Of course, is it? Yeah, so you should please. So please, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's open.
Okay. You know, one thing I like about this webinars is you get more than what you bargained for. But when I just came here to ask you what you want us to do to serve you better, and now 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 have offered to open up a mentorship space to this undergraduate or I think SSC students. So I think this webinars actually give you more than what you expect. So 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, thank you for that, for sharing that information. And I hope whatever that person is, you try and reach out to 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. That's a very, very good opportunity. I believe me, 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 knows what she's doing. She knows a lot. Okay, the next question is from okay, okay, next question is from Beatrice. And it says, please, when should we start applying to the UK universities for admission for the Common WAT scholarship with FSB? Please, this question I'm asking is for 2025 FSB interview. So like Beatrice said, the best time to apply for admission is yesterday or now. So there's nothing wrong with getting admission now against next year. So I hope that answers your question, Beatrice. We already addressed this before, so I believe you understood what we said. Beatrice again, I want to know if I should apply now to get admission ahead of FSB interview in 2025 in order to be awarded the scholarship for 2026. Yes, you can apply now for your admission. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, am I wrong?
Yes, not just for the FSB, for the shared as well. So you can leave your net open. Yeah, shared scholarship is quite easier to get. It's quite easier to get.
Yeah, you just get your admission now. There's nothing wrong getting it now. Yeah. From Seed, I selected A3 pages size for my CV and make it manually on Word following the Europass format. Is that okay? Okay, I don't know much about the Europass. Do you know anything about the Europass?
No, I don't. The last time I used that Europass CV was way back in 2016 when I was trying to apply to the Netherlands. So yeah, usually for most of these EU universities and the Erasmus Mundus, they use the Europass CV. It's a template. So the template, you fill in your details there. So I think you need to download it and edit it with your details.
Okay, I don't know much, but I think if you make a Google search, you'll find the answer out. Or at the same time, when Buki comes back, we can ask him. Maybe he knows about it, but I don't know much. So sorry, Sid, if we're not so helpful. Okay, I'm from Beatrice. I want to school in the UK in 2026, and I want to apply for the Commonwealth Master Scholarship. When is the best time to apply for both for the CSC scholarship and the universities in the UK for 2026 N3? Like we said earlier on Beatrice, the best time to apply for your admission, you can start now. Then the Commonwealth for 2026 is going to open in 2025 around that, I don't know, it depends, September, August. Then you can now apply for the scholarship. For now, get the admission and keep it. There's nothing wrong with that. And if the admission you get and it's for 2026, you can tell them that they can defer it for you to 2026. So there's nothing wrong with applying now, getting the admission, and defend until you get a scholarship. Some schools will tell you yes, you can defer, while some tell you no. And if you get the scholarship now and they deny you a deferral, that's fine. Apply next year again. There's nothing wrong. At least now you understand the system and it's not be hard for you to apply again. I hope we answer your question, Beatrice. For Michael Bani, I'm going to can answer this. Volunteering opportunities seems to be an issue for many. Individually, could you share how you harness such opportunities, especially one related to your given career pursuit? Oh, well, I love this question. You want to start? Okay. What we get back is I kind of agree with you. When you mean an issue, Michael, I don't know what exactly you mean, but from what I think, some people don't know where to start or how to get these opportunities. I tell people one thing: you must not volunteer with a big organization before you call it volunteering. You can volunteer in your church, you can volunteer in your school, you can volunteer just with any small organization close to you. If you can get the big opportunities, that's amazing. If you don't get it, even in school, being a class captain, being a class rep, being an assistant rep, or whatever it is all volunteering. Now, regarding your what's it called, your career pursuit, maybe for example, maybe you're in the medical field, for example. Now I'm not in medical field, but you can go to, maybe there are some maybe hospitals or little clinic, or possibly just people that are pharmacists. Oh, can I come and volunteer with you maybe once a week or something? Paid or unpaid, I don't know. You can make the arrangement, or you can just go online and type. There are a lot of volunteering organizations online. You can just go and type online volunteering opportunities in my field, or in medicine, or in what's it called, in biochemistry or whatever. There are these opportunities there. Just go and type them and search and apply. Or you can just use one within your environment. Like I said, go to hospitals or go to churches or go to pharmacies. So it must not be so big. We make that mistake that you must volunteer with a big organization. No, you can volunteer with both small and big. It depends on what you have access to. So I hope that is helpful, Michael. Gilka, do you want to add to this? Gilka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me also add to that.
Okay, great.
Okay, so if you're going to be applying by September, and you have between January and August to boost your CV, to boost your profile, apart from volunteering, get internship opportunities if you're not working yet. Even as a student, even as an undergraduate student, look out for internship opportunities. Make your CV very busy with courses, online courses, especially courses that have to do with IT. Yes, get to train yourself on how to use some of the tools that are going to be necessary in your field. If you're going for medicine, you should look out for tools, what they call programming skills in that area. These things are things that will make your CV to stand out. If you're going, you don't have to be an IT student, you don't have to be a computer science student to start learning skills in every field. There is an IT skill, there is a software for every field right now, be it medicine, be it biology, be it chemistry, engineering, whichever field you're working in. So try and make yourself sellable by getting these skills. Some of them are free online. Yes, you can start working on those ones with the free version. It's going to give you access to free licenses to these softwares. But then you can start the introductory aspect of it with the free online courses while you're waiting for a scholarship application window. Thank you.
Okay. I want to see. Can you tell me if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. No, I want to share the screen. I hope I'm sharing the right thing. Let me see. Give me a second. Can you see this?
No, I can't. Okay, okay, it's coming up. It's coming up.
So Michael and others, there are many volunteering opportunities. Some are paid, some are unpaid, some take you around the world, some it depends. So one good way to start is I'm going to share a link. It's called International Volunteer Headquarters. You can just go to the website and click on what country you want to go to, click on what field you want to volunteer with or volunteer in. So it's just fill the form and follow it through from there. There are other ways also. I also share other links. So what I'm saying is this: you must not volunteer with a big organization before you call it volunteering. You can volunteer within your immediate space, your school, your church, hospitals, whatever, something close within you. And if you're fine to go further to big organizations, that's also fine. You can also do that. So let me share the link to some volunteering sites. So this is one. It's called International Volunteer. So those on YouTube, you can just click on the links. It's on the chat. And this is another one. It's called I think it's So I think I missed the name, but they are both different links. So no. Okay, this other one, online volunteer. So there are two links there. So try and navigate them and let's see where it takes you to. Okay, the next question is from 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. Please, are there still any Commonwealth scholarship that are open for those that want to school in 2025 now? Honestly, I don't know. Do you think there are? I don't think there are. Because I know Commonwealth shared closed on, I think, is it not December 12th? And Commonwealth split site closed December 16th or 17th. I don't know if the other ones open. Ginika, do you know?
Usually by December, most of the Commonwealth scholarships are closed. By December, in fact, all of them are closed because they have to start reviewing and getting back to people by March, by April, June.
There's this scholarship. I think it's Queen Elizabeth scholarship. Although that one is not for UK, but I don't know. I don't know if it's open. Let me do a quick search. Queen Elizabeth scholarship. Is there also Commonwealth? Let me see. Give me a second. Queen Elizabeth scholarship. So the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth scholarship. When is it open? Okay, honestly, I can't see any dates here. But I think it's for masters. Yeah, it's open, Ginika. So the Queen Elizabeth scholarship is open. Let me share it with you. That's actually good. So let me quickly share that. Let me see. I need to stop screen share. Right, okay. Then share again, share screen. Let's see. So can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yes.
So the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is opened. It's going to close January 2025. And that is for masters in low and middle income country. So it's not for PhD. So I will share the link to it. It's currently open. So that was a very good question in 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. So if you're looking for masters, I think you can want to explore this. Fully funded, living allowance, return economy flight allowance, research support grant, etc. It's open and it's closing January 2025 on the 14th. So let me share the link. So that's amazing. So I'm glad you asked that question. So this is a link to the site. It's on the chat. You can go through that now. So 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, this is the link to the Commonwealth Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth Scholarship is ongoing. So the next question comes from Chibuzo. Please share the link for the graduate research scholarship. Did anybody mention graduate research scholarship? or does it mean the African scholarship? Okay, hold on. This is, let's see.
Yes, I mentioned it. And apart from the Global Excellence Scholarship, there's also Graduate Research Scholarship
Oh,
at
what's the
Monash
link? Can you share
University.
it?
Well, the person that's interested, the person could just Google it.
Okay,
It's
fine.
Graduate Research Scholarship in Monash University.
Amazing, thank you. So please, let's Google that. That's amazing. Thank you for that. Great. Our next question is from Esther from LinkedIn. Hi, Esther. Sorry, I just joined. That's fine. I hope my question is not out of place. No question is out of place here. Hello, is the scholarship only focused on the UK? Now, I don't know what question she's asking. What scholarship now? I don't know. Esther, if you are still with us, what scholarship are you referring to? You said what?
Maybe we are talking about the Commonwealth Scholarship.
Ah, okay. So the Commonwealth Scholarship, yes, in the UK, but for the Queen Elizabeth Scholarship now, I don't know where that is. I don't know if that's for the UK, but let's see. Queen Elizabeth Scholarship. If you go through the scholarship, Queen Elizabeth, it's, I don't think it's studying in the UK. I have no idea. Sorry?
South Africa.
South Africa, okay. So I don't know, but I don't think
Yes.
Queen Elizabeth in the UK, but it's only the Commonwealth itself that's for the UK. That is Commonwealth Masters, Commonwealth Split Site, Commonwealth Share. They're all for the UK. But the Queen Elizabeth Commonwealth, I have no idea. But if you look at the link on the chat, you can read more about it. I hope we have been able to answer your question, Esther. We have another one from Esther again. Hello. What about SAT for undergraduates? Can you share more light on this? I have nothing to share about that, but I said we can aim to look at undergraduate scholarship in 2025. But 𝐃𝐚𝐭 also does undergraduate. So do you want to add anything to this? Or should we move on? 𝐃𝐚𝐭, you frozen? 𝐃𝐚𝐭? Okay, wow. 𝐃𝐚𝐭, can you hear me? 𝐃𝐚𝐭, can you hear me? Hi, 𝐃𝐚𝐭.
Hello, Adrian.
So
Am I the one that's thrown out or you?
I don't know, but if you can hear me now, that is good. Can you please do you want to address Esther's question? I told her that for us we are planning, we might do it on the graduate next year, but I was thinking since you do undergraduate, do you want to add anything to that, or should we just skip?
Okay, yeah, that's for those who want to go to the US. US, you need to get all these exams. The GRE and the SAT is for the US, and it's for certain courses. It's not for every course. I think it's mostly for the engineering science courses. So you can do your Google search about the courses that require SAT.
All right, thank you so much. We have one of our mentors online, Olusoga. It's been nice to join us at the back end, Olusoga, than just being on the chat. If you don't mind, we would like to have you here with us. Just you have the link. Just try to join in if you want to join in. Okay. I can see we don't have more questions here on the chat. I'll quickly check the LinkedIn on Facebook, but I want to say to applicants, I think three things. I think we'll be looking at what have been said so far is research proposal, undergraduate scholarship, and I think with respect to admission, I think that's the three things I understood that they need for next year, other than the questions we've addressed so far. So 𝐃𝐚𝐭, I don't know, do you want to throw more light on maybe any tips you think applicants can work towards next year? Or I don't know, do you want to just share anything before, because we're almost close to the time to end this section. Please, if you have more questions, try to pop them in. We're heading towards the end of the session this evening, and we hope will be helpful. So, 𝐃𝐚𝐭, do you want to add any tips what you think applicants can work towards next year, or any advice, I don't know, or whatever you want to share?
Yes, the reality of the matter is that you cannot afford to study abroad if you're looking for scholarships. So why not be open? Why not be open? I think US and the UK are in high demand, especially with the popular scholarships. But there are hidden scholarships. There are scholarships in Asia and Europe that most people don't even know about. And some of them, their requirements are even basic. Yes. Yes, some of them, their requirements are actually basic. What I mean, you have your 2-1 and then you have good grades and that's it. So why not look out for all those scholarships and be open? Yeah, if you find a scholarship in Dubai or in China or in South Korea, these things. Scholarship is to give you opportunity, international opportunities. From there, you can make your way to the US after your scholarship. From there, you have access to more information, network. You build your network instead of spending another 1 year looking out for scholarships. If you miss it this year, you're going to wait till next year, and these years are passing by, and you could have been more productive running your program somewhere and building your network and building your skills to be able to compete for the more popular scholarships in the US and the UK and Canada. So that's my tip for you as you go into 2025. Be open to all the opportunities that come your way. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I really like what you said. Explore other countries. It's not just the UK and US. I was in a webinar yesterday, and some of the question asked, some of the question asked was, must I don't want scholarships that will make me return back to my country because of Commonwealth have this clause, Chevron have this clause. You know that, right? I know what I said. I said you've not even left here. Already bothered about coming back. Why don't you at least get this one first and get the exposure, and from there you can think of how to develop yourself further. You're already talking about coming back when you've not left. So I love what you said. Even if the UK and the US doesn't work for you, there are other ways, other scholarships. There's Europe, there's Australia, there's Malaysia, there's Asia, like you said, Asian countries. Get those ones there. From there you can always move. So I really love that. I think they needed to hear that because most times we just put ourselves in just one direction. We don't want to explore or enlarge our search base. So yeah, I really love that. We have the chip back. That's amazing. Right on time. So we're just learning about advice for applicants for 2025. And I love what Gnika said. She mentioned don't just focus on US and UK. Expand your search base. You can always go to Australia, Canada, Asia, and maybe in the future you can now go back to UK or US. I really love that. So, Richard, do you want to add what advice can you give applicants for 2025 that you think are very necessary for them?
As a general comment, I would say
Anything you want to say is fine. Yeah.
Don't limit yourself. Yeah, don't limit yourself. Think far and wide. Like I said initially, when you start applying, maybe the one you're chasing is not the one you get, but the one you get will end up being the one that is best for you. So, just off that last point of, expand your search radius. Yeah, apply for as much as possible, and be open to the possibility that, it is a marathon, not a sprint. You may or may not get your first application, but you need to tell yourself the truth is it is a marathon. You may not get. Yeah, in fact, to be very honest, if I'm being brutally honest, you are most likely not to get the first try. You take the first try as a learning curve. So when you're starting out, just make sure you have a notebook where you're recording lessons that you've learned. So if you get any rejection and they give you any kind of feedback as to why you didn't get the opportunity you applied for, take note of exactly what they said. Don't look at it like they are being unfair, or some people put it like maybe people are being discriminatory or whatever. The feedback is just genuine. Just take it as genuine feedback that you want to learn from it. You want to learn from what they are saying or what they've provided. Take that and use whatever you learned in previous application for your next application. And if you are determined enough, don't give up until you get what you're looking for. Keep the application cycle going. It's not, don't base on, is this or is either this opportunity or nothing at all. Be flexible in your approach. Even opportunities that you feel like maybe you're not too sure about how it's going to turn out, but you have the time and the capacity to apply, or you qualify to apply, I would say apply, make that application, take that bold step to make that application, because that one might be the stepping stone that you need to get to the next place that you want to go. So yeah, so take that bold step, that application. Never look down on any opportunity. Some of these scholarships with the big names that are very competitive, they are not the best packages. If we are going to be very honest with ourselves, there are some other hidden opportunities that maybe they don't do very well in marketing, but the actual package of the opportunity is richer, and has more prospects. Some of these scholarships, maybe once you are done with studies, you are done with them, or they are done with you. Some other opportunities have work placements attached to them, have other additional opportunities attached to them, have opportunities for collaborations, etc. So dig deep. Any opportunity you come across, investigate, apply. Once you have your basic documents in place, application becomes simpler. You start rolling over more and more applications. I always tell people, if I open my application folder, there's more than 35 subfolders inside there. I think when we had the question, someone was asking about the SI Swedish scholarship, and I mentioned that I applied for that one. I still remember how that application went. I got the information late, but I still tried out. I think one of the things that maybe limited my chances was that I think I was not able to submit my official transcript in time, because I was not able to get my university to process it in time. But I know that I gave the scholarship everything that I had, and I learned a lot of other things. I learned how the official transcript process worked from that application. Then I knew how to go about, sending official transcript when needed and things like that. So generally, just take up that opportunity whenever it comes across your table. Make good use of it. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. That's my final word.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before we
Ask
allow
a lot of questions. Ask mentors, ask fellow applicants, ask sponsors.
I don't know, Bikchi, are you still speaking? Because I don't know what's happening. Can anybody hear Bikchi, or is it just me? You can't hear me, so I want to figure out. Stop speaking.
Get there too.
Okay.
Okay, no, I stopped.
Okay, sorry, the network is not helping. Okay, just before we allow Remy speak, there's a question that we kept on pause for Bikchi, and now that Remy is here, if you can answer, please help us. Then before we can just proceed to end. It was on Europass CV format. I had no idea, neither the 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞. There's only a few. Remy or Bikchi have an answer to this question because we skipped it.
I've heard of Europass format, but I don't know much about it. So maybe I can't really answer this question.
Remy?
What?
Yes, same here too. I'm not sure that I'm able to answer this question, but I want to know, is this for maybe when you need to attach some of your credentials to the SC application, the scholarship? I want to know why this question is coming.
I have no idea, but Said, if you can respond to Remy's question, that'd be good. I have no idea. Okay. Before we allow, let me just say any tips to applicants for 2025. I want to say to applicants on the group chat, on the comment section, we made a quick feedback form. It's just 2 minutes for you to just tell us any way you think we can improve this next year for you, what you've learned for the section so far since we started 2019, and what you think we can do better for you, or how we can improve our services for you. So it's a very short form. It takes just 2 minutes. So please, we would appreciate if you can just fill the form. It's on the chat. I will try and post it on the LinkedIn and Facebook for applicants or people on those platforms, because I'm sure they cannot click it from where they are. Only people on YouTube, they can click it. So please do fill the form. So let me thank you for joining in. I know you've been busy, and we would appreciate that you could come in before we close. But is there any final tips for applicants, maybe based on your experience or based on mentorship, that you think they can help them be more competitive for 2025?
Yes, thank you. And I must apologize for just joining. It's been a day, and also for the bad light. I have some electrical appliance hiccups here, so please bear with me. Yeah. So the tips that I have, I think I'm very sure that you've said a lot. I'll just say that it's never too late to start. So on YouTube, I saw one of the questions, which is when is it, the best time to start if I want to come to the UK for my master's in 2026. The answer to that is it's never too early to start. So I just advise that if you're intending to apply next year, it's wise to already begin to have an idea of what you want in your essays. It's not too early to start doing a sketch, a draft of your essays, because usually the questions are the same. If there's going to be any difference, it's just going to be minute. So I just advise that you start the things that you need to do, your transcript. If you feel like for your university it will take a longer time, a space of 6 months or more than, you can begin to ask questions to inquire what you need to do and how to get it. It's not too late to start. That's the advice that I have, and give it your best shot, and hopefully you'll come out successful. Thank you.
Yeah, mute.
I'm muted. So thank you so much. I'll give my last piece of advice, and I'll allow Buju call it tonight because he started it, so he should end it. I just want to say first of all to applicant that look at Remy had a busy day, but she could still join. She was struggling with internet and electricity, but he's still here. Ginika is almost 4 a.m. in where she is. She's been up since 2 a.m. trying to speak and advise. Now, if we as mentors who do not need scholarship are here giving our time for free, nobody's paying us, being up at night, and we are tired or we are exhausted, but we're here, then you that is the applicant, you should give it your all. I know people say free things are abused. Please, let's not abuse this one. This is resources that is free, but this is expensive resources because you cannot pay most of us for our time. But we're giving back to society. So if we can invest our time for you, invest your time to put in the effort, ask the question, get answers, and apply them, so that next time in the future you'll be the one also helping the next person, extending your hand of help to the other applicants. So I hope this is my give back, or rather my own summary to applicants and mentees. So thank you. Obuchi?
Okay, so even though I was away for some part of the discussion, I believe that we have had a very fruitful discussion today. And hopefully we were able to run through all of the questions, maybe except the one on the Europa CV. But on that one, I would also add, I think if you use online resources, I think the information you're looking for should be there for these kind of things, usually, because if I'm to go and check now, I just go online and go and digest a lot of information, and I'm sure that the answers to those questions will be there. But I also try to ask out to people to see if we can get any more direct feedback on that. But apart from that, I believe that we've had a very fruitful session. And like I said, this is the last session for the year, the end of 2024. Please take out your time to fill out that feedback form. I just checked through the form now. I think we have about 15 responses so far, which is a lot less than the number of people that have viewed this session. So take out time, fill in that form, even if you haven't, even if you don't. It's very simple. It's a very simple form, very simple questions. Anybody can answer the form. Even if this is your first time attending any of our webinars, you can still fill out the form, put in some suggestions there. All this is to make sure that, whatever content that we are putting out here is as useful as possible for those people that are listening, so that we can create the content in a form that is best or easiest for you to digest. And then so that the best use of your time attending these sessions can be very fruitful. So if there's something that you want us to do better, if there's something that you want us to add, remove, stop doing, start doing, that form is the best place to put that data so that we can understand exactly what people need. Because sometimes maybe the situation has changed from when we applied back in the day and now. So we need to understand what the current trend is and then be able to provide the best kind of support possible. So I just wanted to make that very clear. I also want to thank everybody that's on screen for bringing out their time, especially during this busy holiday period. I want to thank Remy especially because I know that you're still in the heat of your studies, and this is the period where everyone is on holiday, but those people that are in studies are not actually on holiday. They are preparing for what January is going to bring. So I understand that one of my mentors sent me a message this afternoon asking me about what he should be expecting for exams come January and the rest of them. So we had a discussion on that. So I understand the situation. So really thank you for taking out the time to be here with us. 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞, thank you for sacrificing sleep, due to the time difference.
I drink to you, vinegar.
Thank you.
It shows that your passion is very strong, and I'm
Honestly.
sure that the audience really are happy to have you on screen with us. Adriel, also thank you for initiating this session because initially I thought we had closed for the year, but I think this was a very, very important session to have so that, as I said at the beginning, when people are planning on their New Year resolutions and things that they are going to do hit the ground running next year, they have enough information and to be able to actually do that. So I think this is a very important session that we've had, and I'm sure that it's been very useful for everyone that's listened. And for those people that may listen to the recording at some point in the future, please digest all the information. The session has gone longer than we expected, but I think the content is very, very useful. So I'm going to try to stop talking now and say that we're going to call it a night because it is almost 8 p.m. where I am now.
A morning
And
for vinegar. A morning. Call it a morning.
and it's almost bright and early for 𝐃𝐚𝐭𝐞 to begin her day. So this is where we call it a night or a day or a morning. Whichever
Whatever.
one fits.
We are here. We are here for you.
And like I always say, you can reach out to any of us individually, either via LinkedIn or social media, to be able to get further information if something is not clear or if you have another question. It's the holidays, but we are not quote unquote on holiday when it comes to supporting you. So if there's anything that you need, try to reach out and we will provide as much support as we can within this time period. And I also want to wish us the best of the season, best of the compliments of the season, both the speakers and the audience, and Merry Christmas in arrears and Happy New Year in advance. And we hope to see you and give you the best in 2025. So that's a wrap, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.